Hi, give me a second to find this video and get it set up. I'm going to be talking about the topic of being an empath today, and I'm going to be kind of all over the place because I kind of want to mix this with talking about the geomagnetic energies too, and how empaths are kind of coming online to a different set of senses. So give me a second to share this feed out. Give me a moment to share this and I'll get started. I'm going to just kind of do a chat on here on the topic. Let's see. I'm just waking up, right? Good morning. I want to talk a little bit about the topic of being an empath. I believe that all people are born psychic and empathic. I believe that all people came here with spiritual abilities and gifts. You can look at this like some people are really good at music or have some type of artistic talent. Chances are your soul did not just come here this life and find these abilities. Chances are you've had these abilities and gifts from, if not met several of your past lives or all of your past lives. And so, we come here and kind of, I know everything seems new, like we're just discovering everything for the first time, but your soul has lived at least thousands of incarnations on this planet. You've also died every one of those incarnations too. And we really are the light body form, consciousness, and we continue to evolve and go into different characters, different roles. I believe that all kids are born in psychic and empathic, and that through going through these systems and school systems, they teach you how to compete. They teach you different things. They drill out individuality. They try to make you like everyone else in these kind of ways. And a lot of these kids, especially the ones that are being born, that came here after 2012, are very gifted and empathic and have some amazing abilities, right? Now, going through this process, we tend to get kind of psychically polluted and shut off from our empathy and compassion. You can see that children are some of the most loving souls there are, right? If you spend time with some of these young kids, they're meant to heal you and open up your heart chakra. But by the time a lot of these kids get out of school, they're coming out like everyone else with, the heart chakra and above closed off. So a lot of humanity is really stuck in the first three chakras, right? That's really the design, to keep us trapped in a third dimensional reality. It's a program, it's a set of parameters that through, our education systems, our parents, people reinforcing stuff around us, it's how we perceive this reality works. And a lot of times we have placed limitations on ourselves just from absorbing the programming that is happening around us in the matrix. Humans are meant to be multi-dimensional. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this topic of what does it mean to be an empath, because I work on several of these groups and I see this question kind of, am I an empath, right? Maybe this resonates with you. I believe, and this is just my perception and me sharing my reality, my universe I have over here, and it works much different, but I have learned how to be open to everyone else's perspective, because people are very fast to discount what other people are trying to say, or people will get in these ego wars like, oh, my reality works like this, no, it's like this, right? But pay attention to people's perspectives around you, because they are shaping the collective as well, and I know that I am as well. So I'm just going to kind of share my viewpoint. I can resonate with that label of being an empath. Prior to my awakening, I already knew that I was taking on and absorbing energy, right? I started to suddenly not want to be around people. I didn't want to be out in the matrix and out, where everyone else was, while people are wanting to like go drinking and go do 3D kind of stuff. I didn't find my place there. I would have rather be home in my own space, in my own energy, because of the frequencies. I would oftentimes go out in the matrix into low vibration places, and it would make me nauseous. It would make my stomach upset. And so I've realized going through this journey that people that resonate with being an empath have a completely open solar plexus. Our energy center is wide open. It doesn't matter how much you're white lighting yourself, how much you're shielding yourself. We're taking on all the energies around us. Our bodies are much different than some of the normal people. I believe these soul types are indigos as well. I believe that these are the star seeds that were sent to assist, and that we're coming to this planet with different abilities. So, typically going through this matrix, a lot of the empaths are the ones that are trying to fix everyone and fix everyone else or help people. And a lot of the times, I know people, myself included, have learned valuable lessons that when we are trying to help someone, and usually these are the people playing the victim about their life and crying about how things are so bad, and we feel bad and we try to fix these things, we learn that usually we've got a karmic repercussion, that we're interrupting people's karmic lessons. So when we try to save people, when we try to do their lessons, it usually ends badly for us. We get some type of karmic repercussion teaching us, don't do that. That's not how we're meant to be assisting. How we are assisting, and it doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing in this world, we're taking in these low frequencies. We're taking in people's pain, negativity, darkness. And I see a lot of empaths now that are caught up in projecting that darkness back, right? They're like, I'm with this awful partner, and then they become the frequencies around them. It's very important that we're figuring out how to set our own frequency so that we can take in this negative energy and put out good vibrations back. We're supposed to be taking in that darkness and emitting light, right? I tell people, if you ever want to shift these situations, maybe laugh, maybe try to have more fun, because, it can be easy as someone who's empathic to absorb the frequencies of the people around us, their programs, especially in a relationship. So since we have a wide open solar plexus, we don't have those same boundaries or defenses when it comes. So when we are in a sexual relationship, it is very easy for the other person to be accessing all of us and our energy, unlike other people, right? So we easily can become like our partners. We easily can absorb their programs, bad habits, negativity, things like that. Boundaries are very important because, like I said, you are wide open, so you don't have those same defenses. I kind of laugh at it about like the white light and shielding with myself. What works best for me is to make my own space and to be mindful of what I'm doing. A lot of people will come to me. If you're an empath, you will be very magnetic for people. They will, just strangers you don't know, unload their whole life stories. They will come to you when they're having a bad day, when they're having a bad time, right? Everything's amazing and those people aren't coming to you, but when stuff's falling in and they need something, they will come find you. So it's important that we're taking time for ourselves and setting healthy boundaries. It's not our responsibility to be doing anyone's lessons for them, and in fact, we're learning that, that can be really bad for us in this matrix when we try to insert in people's experiences. I have a little list too. A lot of you start to wake up because you're realizing that you're empathic once again, right? You're going through this spiritual awakening. You're realizing that in whatever way, and I'm trying to find my little list I made for this, in whatever way that you are empathic again. This is a label. And I think that, they make it seem like a victim program where you're an empath. You're going to draw narcissistic types to you. You're going to draw negative people to you, bad people. I have to say this place is really complex, but it is a school. And so a lot of the times, things aren't what we've seen with the people that we have drawn to us. There are very real forces that would love to stop us on these missions. It doesn't matter who you are. Your light is emitting a frequency that isn't going unnoticed on this planet when suddenly all of these starseeds and healers and light workers incarnate onto this planet. It's definitely going noticed as well. So we tend to draw a lot of attention to us. We have to set outside of that empath programming too. When I look at the people that are going through or healing from these empath narcissistic experiences, as they say, that's a lot of duality. It's really bad for us too, and the way we're seeing reality. If you're perceiving a separation there, it really isn't. Those were your lessons as well. And a lot of times we get these lessons Because instead of helping and fixing ourselves and healing ourselves and working on our own lessons, we're always so focused on the people outside of themselves. So in one of those negative relationships, you tend to lose yourself in your partner in trying to fix and change and heal them instead of going inward and doing it to yourself. There is a lack there for you or anyone to be drawing these type of dualistic type of perceptions. We're all one. Every person here is you having an experience, right? We can get back to the law of one. So when we're seeing things from a victim perspective, it is very bad for us in a karmic sense, in a heart chakra sense. So we tend to only draw these partners to us in a negative way, these karmic experiences, when we have more healing work to do, when we have more areas that we need to fill within us. I believe that when you are empathic, that you're absorbing and taking in energy in whatever way, you're feeling the frequencies around you, and those are abilities. Not everyone has that ability. We're noticing. I'm noticing that, right? Going through this spiritual ascension, and I want to talk a little bit about what this means, because since your solar plexus is wide open, you're also absorbing a lot of energy happening with this ascension, with these space storms. That was something that began my spiritual awakening when the energies began coming into this planet, and I could really feel them. They were affecting me, right? They started to really affect my life and what I have going on here. As you know, they are still, right? So for me, part of becoming and reaching a place of empowerment was me learning how to master my energy and to handle these energy shifts, and to be able to better control and handle how I'm taking in this energy as we're kind of going through this ascension. So a lot of times, and I see a lot of people feeling this way today, we're getting hit with a lot of energy to prepare us for the equinox, and I'm seeing a lot of light workers are becoming increasingly sensitive to these energies. Everyone has different abilities. So, some people are just absorbing vibrations from other people. It could be like you're just talking with someone and you're sensing something is off. Right? Maybe it is an experience that seems really good. I'm going through something like this, and then something is telling you that it's not for you. Right? That maybe this isn't for you. It might seem great for you, but it might not be for you. You need to really pay attention to your intuition. That is really, the empath's internal compass. Sometimes you just know things and you don't know how. Sometimes, you are very sensitive to outside energies, such as the moon energies, these solar flares, these geomagnetic energies. I've come to the conclusion, since I'm sensitive to these energies coming in, I'm meant to be harnessing them and working with them in whatever way. So these are abilities, and I know a lot of people have a way to go in mastering these abilities, but we're beginning to feel more and more. We have new senses coming online. And a lot of this will be, how we're perceiving the energies, the frequencies around us. A lot of people, myself included, are hearing a lot of noises as well, such as vibrations, pulsations, frequencies. Empaths are very sensitive to their surroundings. This goes for cats too. I was seeing something this morning about pets, and pets can tend to be very empathic as well, right? Natural healers. And people that are empathic, or indigos, as I say, right? These are the indigos, tend to be very chemical sensitive. It could just be like alcohol, drugs, prescriptions, things like that. It is no wonder that we see a lot of psychotropic or pharmaceuticals being prescribed to people as they're being labeled with different things, whether it's ADD, ADHD, right? Autism, bipolar disorder, mood disorders, things like that, because these energy types are very sensitive to chemicals. There for sure has been an agenda to disable the healers here. If you feel that, sometimes people feel that maybe your narcissistic ex was more of like an entity, or, some type of dark influence targeting you to throw you off your course or your timeline, or to distract you, or to entangle you karmically. And yes, I really resonate with those viewpoints, that things go a little bit deeper than we've been led to believe around here, with why we're drawing these things to us too. Good morning. We're talking on the subject of being an empath. Are there any empaths here? I would hope everyone said yes. Check, check. So, being empathic, having empathy for another, right? There's this topic. Everyone, I would hope, would have some type of compassion and empathy for another. And we don't see that here. We see that people are very comfortable in their wars and destruction and poisoning humanity. So there is a lack of empathy and compassion. I believe that a lot of the things that are happening behind the scenes are not coming from humans or humanity. I believe there is a negative extraterrestrial type of agenda, and that a lot of the people that are resonating with being an empath are the star seeds that were sent to heal this planet and to raise up consciousness in the frequencies of love, because those don't seem like human traits. Normally, a human would have this interconnection with other humans, right? We have this thing that makes us human, and our ability really is empathy and compassion, and that's something that these negative forces do not have. These are superhero abilities, really. It's the ability to feel. And in feeling, we can feel the spiritual, because sometimes you need to be able to feel to perceive the spiritual. So there is a very real agenda to try to shut down humanity from those spiritual senses in a way as well. But we're very interconnected. Being humans, we were designed to be empathic so that if you harm someone else, it would hurt you. That, if you cause someone harm, that you probably will create karma for yourself because you will feel badly about it. And that's the amazing thing about this place. We have built-in consciousness that we create our own karma. No one's ever been punishing you. It's not the universe sending it back. The things we think about manifest. So if you feel badly about how something went, you will probably tend to recreate, negative karmic type of experiences as a lesson. So, now, there's a difference between being, having empathy for another and being empathic. I think of the label as being empathic as we're absorbing energy. You can tell how people feel. Maybe you're just telling how they think. Maybe you just know things, like I said. Maybe you're just really sensitive to frequencies. I can't be around some people at this point, right? I can't be around some people that could come to my inbox and try to talk to me. It could make me feel nauseous or make me feel like a vibrational dissonance where it doesn't feel so good to me. So I know everything always feels love and light. If you look back at some of those lessons, if you are an empath and you've drawn a narcissist, that was to teach you to be careful of who you're letting in your energy and your space, right? It was to teach you valuable lessons. Hopefully you're walking away with a lot of experience as well. I feel that those are really distortions in our reality, and they're not good reflections of who we are, right? If you think about those kind of negative experiences. But they are going into the shadow of yourself. And we do a lot of shadow work. A lot of this journey was, you do like 80% of your journey in darkness, right? You go through a lot of darkness, exploring and transmuting your own soul. So you can look at those extreme lessons in duality as a lot of shadow work. You only attract partners because they have something that you lack, and vice versa. So we can look at the empath and the narcissist as they lack that empathy. Right? They only feel bad for themselves. Yes, they will do nice things if it's serving them, right? In some way, things like that. So in whatever way, till you master your own energy, you do run a risk of you could draw that opposite polarity kind of energy type to you. Alright, so it can be hard to date even if it's not the narcissist, because you're very hypersensitive, being empathic. You have senses, right? You're very tuned into the other person in ways normal people are not. Right? You can feel the frequencies, you can tell things. So you're becoming very hypersensitive and hyper aware. So it's a good idea to have your own space, have your own life. It can be really overwhelming for you to be around people all of the time. Empaths need a lot of space and a lot of alone time. I figure that's so that we can tune in and connect as well with ourselves and recharge in whatever way. A lot of people get sick if your environment isn't good. And it could just be a toxic relationship. It could be where you're living. or having a lot of toxicity around you, we see that a lot of the empaths are absorbing energy. So if you're not clearing your own energy and taking good care of your own energy, we usually can get sick from these things. I see a lot of empaths that get sick with things like cancer or whatever around a lot of toxic frequencies. So your space is really important. I was telling a couple people like to sage yesterday. Make sure you're saging your space, clearing it, getting a lot of fresh air too. It's very important that we're taking good care of our own energy and setting our own frequency. So I guess where I went wrong was when I was asleep, I wasn't setting my own frequency. I was just kind of bouncing around to everyone else's frequencies and absorbing them. So it's very important that we're finding our own frequency, and that when we're going to like work and dealing with people or out, that we're not just kind of all over the place absorbing the frequencies given to us, and that we're finding our own frequency and setting it. That can really help us too. So, I know all these things sound really good. Everything sounds great in this matrix, but we're learning that we need to learn to use our intuition and our third eyes to navigate things, and things are not what they seem, right? So for sure, pay attention to your intuition, even if it seems weird, right? That if I probably would have been listening to my intuition, I probably, would have saved me a lot of lessons later with a lot of people, because I always tend to see the light in everyone. Yes, I see the other things as well, but being a natural healer, I always try to, encourage people to bring out kind of the best in themselves, right? I'm all about everyone can heal, and I believe that, and I know that, and that's what a lot of the problems, a lot of the empaths run into, because you're always trying to change and heal and fix the people around you. I think it's very important that we realize the difference between the people who want us to fix and change them and the people that are fixing and changing and healing themselves as healers as well, right? Like I said, we're not supposed to do other people's lessons for them. We're supposed to be giving them the tools that they need so that they can kind of change and fix and heal themselves, right? And there's a difference between the people who don't want that and want you to do it, and the people that are doing the inner work. I think it's important that our relationships are also a reflection of who we are. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow, because, the American dream is built around marriages and relationships and things like that. But as we're changing, sometimes, we have to change the type of people that we're attracting to us too. So, sometimes our relationships clearly, if you look at the empath and the narcissist, they probably are not a good reflection of who they are. Be careful of those type of relationships. I'm not doing cards till my next feed. We're talking empath stuff. If anyone has any questions or things that they want to know about or talk about, I think this is an important topic, because, if people are not back to being empathic, they will be with these energy shifts coming in. I think it's very important that we're recognizing that the geomagnetic energies are not just having an effect on people that are empathic. I know we can feel it more, but they're impacting this entire planet, where we're seeing kind of not only an increase in the Schumann resonance and the frequencies on this planet, that we're seeing the effects of what is going to happen, and we can kind of see glimpses of where this is all headed, going through this spiritual ascension and what's coming for the planet. So, there is a need for us, and that we are the healers, whether we realize it or not, that are going to be transmuting these energies as they're kind of coming to the surface. The purpose of being an empath is that we are healers. We're starseeds. You're an indigo starseed if you're resonating with those topics or these frequencies. And, we can't go heal anyone until we heal ourselves. That's the problem. All the empaths have been running around trying to fix their partners and their spouses and their children and the people around them. And it really is to point us inward, that we have to master our own energy, or we will just, continue to, create karma or damage the people around us. No matter how good our intention is or what we try to do, it's never good. So we really have to learn how to first heal ourselves, but that is going to be the path that all of this is leading us back to, the spiritual, that, we really are healers, and we have all of these systems designed to make people sick, whether it's healthcare, doctors, these things around us. And, we've been lied to on massive scales to believe this world that we thought was real, and it's kind of part of the experience. But, that's why when people are getting sick and they're going to the doctors, it's generally making them worse. It's to teach us that these people aren't going to heal us. We have to do this ourselves. There are no pills that will mask these spiritual issues coming to the surface. So I know this is a hard pill to swallow because we can't play the victim anymore when you're in conscious control of your reality and no one else. We can't blame God anymore. We can't, right? We don't have the same excuses. You can't blame your parents. We at some point have to take conscious control of creating our reality as well. So, we've been sold that you can go get a pill from the doctor, but there is no pill that when we have this emotional pain, it will continue to manifest either in the physical or in a crazy sense. Someone was like, well, I was in a car accident. How does this happen then? Well, that is emotional trauma that manifests. I know all about it, right? That is physical, that's emotional trauma manifesting into the physical, and that's why we're still going through these kind of karmic cycles on this planet. We have a lot of karma left to release and heal and clear on this planet, but we all serve a purpose in being here. It's very important, even like having this chat and coming back to these realizations of who we are on a soul level. And the fact that a lot of people don't know who they are or who they were before this life tells us there is a spiritual disconnect that is still happening. So when we see everyone sick and depressed and full of anxiety, this is why we've been cut off from the spiritual and are only in that third dimensional sense when we have so many other multi-dimensional aspects of us that we should be integrating into this reality. So this is a painful experience for many that are believing that we're this victim limited role, whoever you were kind of told that you were coming onto this planet. So this is a school. It takes some degree of mastery. I'm still kind of trying to learn how to do it too, right? I'm here with you guys. So this is a school, right? And so it's going to take some level of mastery, but the people that are putting in work, because not everyone is, it pays off fast. You can see with my videos that you could be living in a completely new life in a year simply by taking it a day at a time and working on yourself. We have to do a lot with the mind as well. We have a lot of purifying to do. I had a crazy dream last night too that I'm still trying to process. And I was given a tarot card. It's funny because I'm always doing the cards, right? I was giving a tarot card. I only got one card. I woke up though. And so it was, that we're three components, and I had to wake up and think about it. Of course, we're mind, body, and soul. So we're doing a lot of purging and purifying. So frequency is important for empaths. We need to be vibrating high. A lot of these people may have been given like ADHD labels. The kids, you can tell the generators, okay? They're the kids that are just running around, playing, having fun, lit up. But people don't like that in this matrix. We're not allowed to have fun, right? So sometimes these generator types, you can just tell, right? The empath is the ultimate generator. Well, then why are so many feeling miserable and broken? Well, a lot of that has to do with the people around them, the environment, the things that we're choosing to entertain. Empaths operate a lot better on high frequencies. We need to be really high frequencies to be able to tune into the spiritual, because the spiritual has to, like our guides and angels, have to lower their frequency to even communicate with us. So through shifting and raising our frequency, we can really do amazing things with our spiritual abilities and spiritual gifts. So we have a lot of things that have been weighing down humanity's frequency for a lifetime. Could have been toxic relationships. It could have been, toxic food. The usual healthcare, right? The things around us, our environment. So I'm always huge on detoxing too, as a way to kind of clean the toxins out of our body. That helped me immensely. I was very ungrounded after getting like all the usual vaccines and healthcare. I was left very ungrounded. And so detoxing helped kind of stabilize my energy and kind of put it at a really good place. Grounding is important for frequencies too, because we're generators and we're learning how to not burn ourselves out, right? So, I know that people have that euphoria where you're feeling really good and your day's going great and you're running around. We need to kind of sustain those ways of being. So for me, it's been important to realize not to put my energy up too high, so I'm not kind of burning myself out the next day and having those highs and lows. It's really important for me that I recognize too that we're becoming the energy around us as empaths. So we easily absorb and become like the people around us. So it's important that we're surrounding ourselves also with uplifting, high vibe people. Let's see, what do you feel are my gifts? You'd have to probably set up like an individual reading so I can tune in, but I feel that if you're drawn to these spaces, you're for sure an energy worker of sorts, and that you are a healer of sorts. Now, spiritual abilities can look like all different types of things, though. Everyone has different gifts and abilities. I feel that the empaths are indigos, and we have abilities of the mind and the third eye, and that a lot of these souls are coming back from Atlantean times and other past places and maybe haven't been here for a while since then, and have amazing abilities with manifesting with the mind. So we can see that, you know, clearly it would be a way to contain humanity, making everyone believe that we're limited and can never do anything, when we really live in a manifest reality, and every little thing that we're thinking about becomes our world, becomes our reality. So, you know, we all have these gifts and abilities. It's about fine-tuning them. I find that a lot of mastery of our spiritual abilities comes through mastering our thoughts and mastering our minds, staying more positive, more, you know, intention and focused on what we're trying to create, what we're trying to manifest. We're going to get back to, this place is kind of like a lucid dream. And that, you know, how would you navigate a lucid dream? Well, you wake up in the dream, you realize you're dreaming, and then you start to think about things and they kind of materialize in front of you, and that's how this world operates as well. I'm always trying to share my soul with people as well, right? Share your perspective, speak your truth. It will help people. I know, right? It's going to help people. Empath's worth nightmare, right? Speaking our truth. Through finding our voice, that will make you powerful too. That everything I've ever spoken of has materialized and manifested since I've woken up. So our words are very powerful too. Use them to heal and help people. A lot of empaths have their own things going on. Be careful we're not projecting back negativity with people. They're meant to come to us, and we're meant to kind of transmute their vibe, right? And so sometimes you could have someone come to you with some heavy stuff, and you know, you have a conversation with them, even by Facebook. That's still an energy exchange. And you have a conversation with them, and they're leaving feeling amazing, and the empath's over here like a dirty sponge, like you just got a whole 20 years of someone's life unloaded on you, right? And you're over here like, whew, I don't want to talk to that person again. Make sure you're taking care of your energy. Salt baths are really amazing. I found they help me so much. I just did like an hour salt bath. But that is the way that I found to clear my solar plexus. Things like nature are really good for that chakra. So we're basically like wide open in our center, not like everyone else, and any energy around us is getting filtered through that chakra. It can be overload. We see a lot of empaths with kind of like stomach related issues, right? Things pertaining to that chakra. Crystals are really good for that chakra too, yellow ones, right? Realize that you are a healer. That's why you're drawing, if you're drawing broken people to you. We weren't supposed to be dating these people, right? We're not supposed to be dating these people. We're supposed to be assisting and healing them in whatever way, right? Usually people get confused as to the relationships and people coming to us. Work on your third eye. That will help you tune into more to your psychic abilities. Our third eye was shut down, right? With fluoride in our toothpaste and things like that. And everyone's like, oh no, it's okay. Get rid of the fluoride toothpaste. It's probably the worst thing that they're doing to us. And people are like, oh, we don't swallow it though. Who cares, right? And the thing is that, you know, with subdermal type medications such as like melatonin, you can put it in your mouth and it goes right in your bloodstream. So what happens is you're only brushing your teeth a minute a day, right? With this fluoride toothpaste, it doesn't matter. You're getting a daily dose of Prozac. It's going right in your bloodstream and shutting down your third eye. And it's like taking a medication every day. We can see that Prozac is really similar to fluoride. It's the same ingredients. So that is the way that they have found to medicate everyone, right? And they tell you it's good for you and it's helping your teeth, but it actually eats the enamel off of your teeth too. So we see that since they started using fluoride in kind of the way they did, people's teeth are getting worse, right? So get rid of the fluoride toothpaste. They have a lot of really good brands. Like you can just go on like eBay or Amazon and type in fluoride-free toothpaste. Switch your toothpaste because that is a medication. Yes, they are administering medications in kind of shady ways, whether it's in our water or our, you know, healthcare products and things like that. So fluoride is really bad for our third eye. I always tell everyone to take some vitamins. I'm huge on chlorella and turmeric for your third eye. That will help clear out any metals or toxins out of your body, helping you kind of clear out your psychic awareness toolkit as well with your third eye. I love the Tom's toothpaste. If you're in America, I can't get that here anymore. But when I was living in America, I thought it was one of the better ones. I've probably tried a million different types of toothpaste, trying to find some good ones, right? I'm good at charcoal's really good for your teeth too. Sometimes I use it to clean my teeth, and things like that. Yeah, Prozac. They want to put everyone on medications, especially if you're an empath. You probably heard that you had issues, right? And that you needed medication of some sort. Because we're perceiving different things in different frequencies, and we're not adapting to the world as they know it, right? A lot of the empaths are not able to conform to this version of reality, but I mean, it's making everyone else sick too. That when people are doing this template, they're getting sick, and it's not good for anyone. So a lot of the times you'll hear that you're crazy because you're emotional. Of course, you're not only feeling your emotions, which are intense, you're feeling the emotions of the people around you, so you're taking on a lot of energy. So it is no wonder if you're dealing with someone toxic, such as a narcissistic, we'll say entity type person, right? Entity type person, that you might go hit energy overload and hit level 500 or become angry or frustrated, either with yourself or the people around you. So, medications are really bad for empaths too. I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm here to just hopefully tell you that I was on a lot of medications too, and it completely shut down any of my psychic and spiritual abilities. It wasn't until I got off of all of the pharmaceuticals and did a good detox that I got back and tapped into my own spiritual abilities and gifts. Now, I always had some type of abilities and gifts, like I was the empath type, and I had some type of, I guess you could say, clairvoyance. But once I got off of all the garbage, it was like it cleared up such a experience that my soul had been stuck on, right? We call them soul traps. It just cleared it up and really jump-started my entire kind of spiritual awakening. So medications are really bad. Empaths are very sensitive to alcohol, unlike other energy types, right? You could have had, like, you drank too much and maybe you had like a blackout experience or something where you were acting like you were not yourself or something like that. We're basically spiritual containers, and as empaths and starseeds, we're more susceptible to the spiritual. Yeah, the medications don't work either. That's why it will be easy to convince humanity now to heal for real, I figure. But if their medications were ever working, people would not be, seeking healing elsewhere. So it's important to remember their medications are not working. If they ever did, I believe it's like the placebo effect, where people believe it and create it. Let's see, read in the comments. So, detoxing really helps. Grounding, connecting with the earth. I feel that we're all like cells in the body, and Gaia is our mother. Go connect with the earth. It really helps heal you too. I think that we've lost our connection with nature in a lot of countries, and that through getting back to nature, it will really, heal us and take us forward on our ascension. And we need to remember that Gaia is doing her own spiritual ascension, and we're lucky if we can all go along for the ride. So it can be very beneficial for us to connect with nature outside in any way, because it puts us on those frequencies. So be careful of your partners. Everyone will be drawn to you. That doesn't mean you should have everyone around you. You have certain abilities and gifts with manifesting that make you very magnetic to people. It's important that you recognize that you don't need anyone to complete you, and that you're complete on your own, and that you are here to do a mission. And maybe everyone isn't at that place, but you will be ultimately. Right? First we heal ourselves, and then we kind of get to that place. That is why empaths, I believe, are very oriented towards service and helping other people, because we are older souls. And we realize that we are here to serve humanity in whatever way. So you can see that a lot of these energy types are very service of others. We need to be mindful of our frequencies around other people, that we are able to influence other people's frequencies. If you didn't notice, sometimes you could be like, I was talking to someone yesterday and I'm laughing and in a good mood, right? And you could just tell that I'm going to put that person on my frequency. So I try to stay off of Facebook if I'm purging or having a bad day. I try to stay away from my videos, right? So I need to be mindful that I could be taking people to my frequency. And I feel that with all the empath types, that since we're kind of vibrating in a different way, we tend to lift people up, hopefully, to our frequency. If you're feeling kind of alone here, like, you know, you're on this spiritual path and not everyone is, that can be very common too for these energy types. That you're feeling energy, you're feeling the metaphysical, not everyone is. It's important to remember, I believe that there are two groups of souls here. There is the third dimensional planet that was occurring prior to your incarnation, that there's this third dimensional planet for third dimensional souls, and we're coming here to assist. And we're coming here from a different level. A lot of the souls that incarnated here to assist would have either been fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional, or even sixth dimensional souls. So sometimes you don't really notice, right, that you're kind of different than people till you have a spiritual awakening, right? And then you have a spiritual awakening, and then, you know, you start to realize maybe my partner or my friends are not on my same kind of level of awareness. And that is okay. I think it's important that we recognize that not everyone's going to, you know, do a quantum leap overnight, that our souls had a different journey in getting here. And we're not going to be able to bring people to our levels. We will be able to create a change here in other ways. But people are never going to be able to perceive things exactly the same way as you. Your souls just kind of had, you know, a longer journey. Yes, a lot of people can't handle our light and want to put it out. Yeah, they want to take it, right? That's what the narcissist does. They are attracted to you because of your light. And then you'll start to date this person, and single-handedly they will try to separate you from anything that brings you joy. If it is your family that lights you up, they are the problem. They must go. If it is your job, that's going too, right? Anything that brings you joy will kind of irritate these souls. So it kind of goes to show you who really does that. I don't believe people go through such an experience of trying to destroy another person so methodically. And we can look at these narcissistic energy types as they break down your programming. You can have someone really healthy and happy, and by the time they get out of one of these relationships, you know, their mind is a mess. They're thinking a lot of negative thoughts about that person or themselves and things like that. So, you know, you have to be more careful with this stuff too. Go, Kathleen. I've been summoning her. We're talking Empath 101. If anyone has any things they want to ask, talk about while I wrap it up. All right. These are abilities, though, so that you can perceive what is behind the human. You might just be feeling, like I said, this person's off. Maybe like some people, I have had people around me like this doing this mission where they're all love and light, but I didn't get those vibrations off of them. I like to use that as an example. They're all love and light, but I got different vibrations and feelings off of them, and people wouldn't be able to understand it. Like, oh no, that person's great, and I'm like, no, I just don't want to be around them. So take care. A lot of, you know, getting back to spirituality is getting back to ourselves and spending a lot of time with ourselves. Be careful who you let into your universe and reality too. That's what some of these lessons are to teach us. So, we see a lot of empaths that are getting the negative vibes and then putting it back out there, or feeling that sadness and then projecting sadness out there. I think that a lot of this is going to be us learning how to be mindful of what kind of, you know, stuff we're putting out there, right? How are we making other people feel? Are we projecting, you know, you have the narcissist over here, drama, your mom. We'll say it's the mom. We have the mother-in-law. They know who this is. The mother-in-law over here with this negative energy, right? And they're coming near you and making you feel that way. Be careful you're not projecting that onto your friends and family, and that you're letting it go. And so it's important to realize everyone has their own lessons going on here, and we need to just kind of let it go and make sure we're putting out our own frequencies. And this planet needs love. That is the only force that can even do this and bring people to unity. Yes, it won't be through truth and wisdom and knowledge. It will be love. This is where your soul will gravitate through. You could have like the worst situation, add some love in there, instant alchemy. So this planet really needs more love. So we need to be more mindful. I had a lot of negative energy projected at me, and I just tend to go off grid till I'm feeling fine energetically. So it's important to realize too, as light workers, that we're taking care of our energy first, or we can't really assist anyone. So, you know, if your energy, if you're tired, if you're drained, and someone's like, oh my God, I need you, make them wait. Boundaries. Don't deplete yourself and drain yourself. I like to say that we have a daily limit of magic. I mean that. I wake up every day. This is my 5D life. and I can just take it a day at a time. I wake up every day, but there's only so much I can do in a day. I only have so much energy. My videos take a lot of energy too, right? So I only have so much energy in one given day, and I know this is like that for everyone. So, when we burn ourselves out, when we deplete ourselves, that's when we get sick, when we're not taking care of our own energy and our own life force energy. So I see this happen with a lot of empath types where they're always helping everyone else at the expense of ourselves. If you really want to change the world, you're not going to do it changing your outer reality. You're going to go within. Heal yourself. Work on your life force energy. And magically, you'll start to attract different people. So a lot of people try to change everyone outside of themselves. What I've learned how to do is change myself, and suddenly the people around me will change on their own. And hopefully I'm attracting, better and higher vibe experiences to us. So when we're seeing and attracting broken people, sometimes those are things that we need to heal within. So if you get that, bad relationship energy type, well, how many red flags did you ignore? What were you putting up with that you shouldn't have? Didn't your intuition try to warn you and you didn't listen? So sometimes these are the lessons that we walk away from. And I see that sometimes it helps the empath too, because you may have started out as someone with no boundaries or willpower or, self-control with these things, and you get out of one of these negative relationships and suddenly you're a badass. You're not going to take any crap anymore. You're going to tell people this is not okay. I'm not willing to be treated like this. So in whatever regard, these lessons were needed in our spiritual path to get us all here and to be mindful. Any type of relationship is a balancing of your energy too. All of your relationships have changed your energy and have made you who you are. I think it's very important that we are forgiving everyone we've ever learned with too. These are some of the ways that we get trapped by these energy types, that you go through like a negative relationship with, say, the narcissist, right? And you broke up. And then I see people where they continue to talk about it, and they're like, this guy, the narcissist, whatever. And they keep talking about it and feeding the situation energy. And then we can create karma for ourselves. So, I would just be mindful that you're grateful for the lessons, but you don't want to do that again. And that's how we can free ourselves, how we can cut the cords for good, through forgiveness. Otherwise, we're going to continue to draw, negative experiences in a karmic way. A lot of people don't want to talk about how the narcissist may be your karma. Sometimes I see people, like, you could have got out of one relationship, it didn't go good, and then you get the narcissist, and that would be karma that you've drawn to you in some type of way. And it's important to remember that any of these karmic lessons are to teach you to love yourself more. Sometimes you have to leave or love yourself enough to not put up with it as well. So we can look at that kind of negative experience as very dualistic in a karmic kind of way. So be mindful. Don't put up with the garbage anymore. You don't have to. You're divine. You're sovereign. You're a co-creator. So we see a lot of people get in this victim mentality, like, I have to be here. We're married. I don't have a job. I don't have this. I can't do this. Trust me, if you want it bad enough, the universe will make a way, right? So a lot of people don't want to change. We get our ego is really comfortable, even if it's a bad situation. Yeah, it's comfortable with the bad marriage or, the negativity, because then it's safe. It knows where it is, your house, whatever kind of excuses people have. And it also takes work to change ourselves, right? To change our situation. So let go of any excuses around it, for real. It's one way we're giving away our power to the dark, and then the dark is using that same power against us. So if we don't like the way humanity is being treated right now, we can take back our power on every level. We're going to do that by stopping to give dark situations our attention and our focus as well. So no more excuses. Oh yeah, and speaking, I love the comments. Please leave more comments. So I'm reading this one, Earth is a School, and you're both the student and the teacher. Well, sometimes you guys are the teacher too, and it might not feel like that having gone through this experience, but I have to think about it when I'm thinking about like downloading on this video. Well, maybe, not at the time, because the narcissist, doesn't notice anything but themselves, I'm sure. But maybe further down the line, you might have helped change that person. I believe that, yes, people can change and heal and grow. Yes, even that person that you couldn't change. You couldn't change them. We can't change other people ever. But they can choose to change themselves. So maybe further down the road, you could have been teaching that person a lot of lessons too. Maybe not to mistreat people, maybe to treat people a little nicer, we're not sure. But in whatever way, you know, it's meant to be beneficial for both souls included too. Now, why are we seeing so much of this now? I believe it's related to ascension. I believe that we're clearing a lot of karma. I believe, yes, like the past life karma with this person that you had left over, that you might have tried to cram a lot of stuff into this life to clear. I believe that the purpose of this all is love. Like, you couldn't convince me that despite the prison planet paradigm that certain factions have set up on this planet, that before all that, there was a time when, you know, everything became conscious and aware through Source wanting to experience love with itself. And that's why people came into fruition. Right? So Source could go play these roles and experience love with another, always being with itself. And so, you know, these kind of things are really bad for our heart chakra because, you know, the human kind of component is love. This is what we're kind of seeking and searching. And it's so negative that, you know, our desire to love or be with another person could be what the dark have used to take us off course so that we're not doing our missions or healing work or whatever, or to break us in whatever regard. But that's how I kind of view this stuff. So use discernment, you know, again, if this was you and you went through this relationship, use discernment with people. Now, these are 3D manifestations. These are things that are being created out of duality. He's the bad guy, the narcissist, I'm the empath, right? And things like this. So this is very dualistic. We need to get back to a place where we're creating out of oneness, where we're all one. Everyone is you. You're going to get a reflection of you. Think twin flames, right? Things like this. Spiritual unions, love. So yes, these are the old 3D templates when it comes to love. Control dramas. Exchanges based on the material, right? Things like that. So it's okay, we're paving the way and clearing those templates so that we can manifest, you know, on these new 5th dimensional ones. So we see a lot of programs clearing. I love it, Debbie. Perfect. Missions. So, if we didn't get broken, how would we have learned to heal ourselves, though? So, it is part of the process, unfortunately, right? So, if we didn't get sick or didn't get broken, we wouldn't have learned that we were healers. So, in whatever regard, some of these more negative relationships wake us up. If you go through a lot of negativity or drama, sometimes you walk away with a really, you know, a lot more lucidity, a lot more perception, right? That's something that happened to me going through kind of a negative situation like that. It brought me to so much clarity, though, where suddenly you're seeing a lot more, right? Opens up your psychic awareness. So in whatever way, it's meant to be a journey of empowerment, us taking back our power, right? Us being like, I had enough, and finding that place of empowerment. So everyone's at different levels, but that's where it's meant to kind of lead us, that place of power, kind of balancing that energy center. All right, I'm going to be getting off of here, and I'm going to go to my channel and do cards.